but also doing more than Pride nights or Pride months. I do enjoy seeing when certain social medias fire back at the bigots, generally to a humorous effect. But yeah, I mean, I'm gay 365 days of the year, not just 31 or 30. So my name's John Broadbent. I play hockey in New Zealand. It's not really a massively popular sport here. I started out playing ice when I was 16, and then I did a student exchange to Canada when I was 18, played a bit there, and then played some more when I came back. And then I've moved towns now to a smaller town that has no ice rink. So I've converted to inline. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but part of my sacrifice of, because I still miss ice, is I'd said to myself, I'm just going to watch as much NHL as I can. And I do. And from that, I started writing about it and just thought I'd try my hand at writing for a blog. Was very surprised when they liked my work, me being just a New Zealand guy. And from that has spurned out to doing my own blog on the San Diego Gulls. So I'm pretty much one of the only fan blog writers for the San Diego Gulls.
I did a speaking event with the, I believe it was the GM, maybe president of the Gulls a year or two ago, and he was wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was the assistant GM in Anaheim for a while, and then he went to run the Gulls.
Yes, that's fun.
Yes. Yeah, lovely,
cool.
Lovely guy.
He sounds like it in all the interviews I see him do. He seems like a cool dude.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Wow.
So how did you get into hockey?
So down here, the main influence is definitely the Disney movies.
Okay.
So hence why I became a Ducks fan. But I have two best friends that are twins, and yeah, we watched the Disney movies. We all really got into it. One became a Penguins fan, one became a Rangers fan, and I stayed with the Ducks. So yeah, we took it from there. We played street hockey, we played inline first, then ice. One of them represented our country several times. I think he's got elite prospects profile, which always cracks me up when I see that on there.
Cool.
Yeah, but he had one too many concussions, and now he's almost a doctor. He's just in his final year, starting next year, of being a doctor. So yeah,
that's incredible. Good for him.
Yeah.
And then so this was obviously well before you moved to Canada.
Yeah, a couple of years before I did my student exchange. Yeah.
Where in Canada did you end up?
Very small town called Lillooet. Have you heard of that?
Where is it?
Lillooet. Lillooet. It's on the Sea to Sky Highway between Vancouver and Whistler.
Okay, that's cool.
Fraser Valley. Yeah, it was a town of 2,000 people, or maybe a bit more. I'm not sure, but I grew up in Auckland, the biggest city in New Zealand, so it was a massive change for me. But I loved it. They
couldn't convert you into a Canucks fan.
No, though I did go to a couple of games. The Canucks weren't that great back then.
Well, they're still not that great now. So. What do you love about hockey?
That's everything. The speed, the skill, camaraderie, just all the great feelings that come from excelling or knowing that you were part of a play or part of something. Yeah, I can't describe it. That's a really tough question. I could put it in terms of, I know why New Zealand would be good at it if we focused on it more over rugby. It's just, we've got a lot of physically built and fast skilled athletes. But yeah, rugby's the code here. So that's.
How could hockey be better for you as a queer identifying individual?
It's like I hate to parrot everything you've been saying, but it's like you've been saying on Twitter. If there was better representation and not just what's the word for it, lip syncing to what teams feel like they should just be providing as a service, essentially. Like I wrote this article. I don't know. I was reading it again today, and I actually winced a lot at it. When the Ducks did Pride Tape for a couple of games, I forget when they did. That really stood out to me. But doing more would help me. And I know there's some people that are really happy with what they do, but there's not enough awareness around the kind of things that still go on in locker rooms, and
yeah, completely right. Like men's team locker room culture needs an overhaul, for being honest. And and Pride Tape and warm-ups is a lovely gesture, but it's not eradicating homophobia anytime soon.
no, and there's got to be the day where somebody comes out and there'll be a lot of support and hopefully no negativity. I can't see that.
Well,
might be, but yeah,
there will probably be some. There always is. But it is what it is, and hopefully we get to a point where the culture will embrace and somebody will feel comfortable enough, the culture evolves enough that somebody will feel comfortable coming out. It's the ultimate goal. But and not just one person, but like all the players that are LGBTQ plus.
Yeah. And I wish I could help more with the Chick-fil-A thing, but
well, you're doing your part. Everyone's doing their part, and everyone contributes as much as they can and when they can, and it's valued and appreciated. So everyone's doing their part.
Thanks.
What keeps you in hockey?
Right now, it's kind of at my age, I'm starting to feel the pain more than I used to. It seems like 3 straight scrimmages we have week-to-week scrimmages. I've endured some sort of injury. Blocked a shot last week in my arm, the part between your glove and your elbow, and that was yellow for like a week, and it was like a dead arm. But so it's definitely not, the pain is definitely making it harder, but what's keeping me in it, I think, is the fun element, just having fun with my teammates, just playing together with a guy that you have good chemistry with. I mean, I was thinking, dwelling on some topics I could think about, knowing I was going to talk to you. We did a tournament in a different island last year, so we all toured up there in a bus, but we also took our under-10s team with us, and there was a kid on the under-10s team called, I don't think it's his self-given nickname, but he's not fat, he's just tall for his age, so they called him Big Trent. And he was the goalie, and the kid, like the parents were all there as well, and we played a couple of games. The kids played the games, we watched their games, and then when our teams made the final, the parents went out and got the kids like face paint and things to help cheer us on. And it was so cute to see them all show up with all of that gear. But Big Trent had like a tutu and like pom-poms, and I was like, you got it, kid. That is and I don't know, I don't want to take credit for it, but I wear my rainbow tape, and I get it. A lot of the kids are always like, there was a game where we hosted a friendly tournament, and some of the teams that came had age groups that we didn't have an age group for that, so we sort of spread out some of the older under 10s. And because I'm small enough, I'm only 5'6", they snuck me in a game, and so I was playing in this friendly game with these kids, and they all called me Rainbow Tape. But yeah, seeing this kid Trent like two pom-poms, didn't give a crap. At that age, I was like, you got mate. So just that kind of feeling of support and everyone happy to be themselves, essentially.
That's cool. I really like that. I think it's nonconformist and the type of things we need to do to shift the culture, and celebrate people as individuals and allow them to be themselves. Did you notice a difference, or was it similar to the hockey culture in Canada versus New Zealand, whether it's locker room culture or different things?
That's the thing, is I didn't know I was gay then. I had my first, that's, I guess I get bonus points for this. I had my first inkling that I was gay while I was over there in a locker room.
It's the water in Canada. We turn everyone homosexual.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to go in depth on that. But so I didn't notice that, not that I can remember any particular words or phrase. I do know that I played for a university team when I came back here. I was sort of a part of its creation. And as the years went on and more guys came and went through the locker room, there was a lot of phrasal use of the F word and stuff like that that I really appreciate. And I ended up just leaving that team because I just didn't like it. I know I should have spoken up or did something, but
it's not in every situation. It's different, and it's not always up to the queer person in the room to have to speak up either. So don't be too hard on yourself.
Well, it was good because I ended up joining a team full of expat Canadians. So and they're all older guys, so right up my alley. It was great.
Now, have you noticed a difference in the cultures between ice hockey and roller or incline?
That's a really good question. Shoot, not really. If anything, the roller hockey players are more fast and loose with their safety. That was the first thing I noticed. Was I brought all my gear down with me, and the first thing they said is like, "You're not going to need those," pointing to my shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And I haven't worn them since, but also, yeah, it's there's no hitting, but then there's the odd accidental collision. But in terms of no
culture, like locker room culture or anything,
it's mostly the same. Yeah.
Interesting. What gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
Ultimately somebody coming out. But long term, I mean not long term, but short term, teams doing more to what's the word? Show their support. Such as dropping sponsorships to those organizations that hurt ultimately. But also doing more than Pride nights or Pride months. I do enjoy seeing when certain social medias fire back at the bigots, generally to humorous effect. But yeah, I mean, I'm gay 365 days of the year, not just 31 or 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just sort of more acknowledgement there, I guess.
Interesting. I like that. And is there anything you would like to add?
It's hard to really, I mean, if teams did even more hearing it from the players, there was a lot of issue with slurs 2 or 3 years ago. I feel like that's fading, hopefully. Maybe the younger kids coming up seem like they're more yeah.
No comments, not my interview.
I feel like you're definitely helping with that.
Trying.
But yeah, more acknowledgement, and possibly if there is another bad incident with a slur, a massive fine or punishment. I don't have much hope for that because of how they're dealing with head injuries and how that's going. But
so you mentioned beyond the performative, like Pride Nights, what else could they do? Do you have any ideas?
That's a good question.
I don't want to put you on the spot, so you don't have to answer it if.
Well, oh no, again, it's performative. But I was going to say, I love the girls' jerseys that they've done. I haven't been able to get my hands on one. Those ones were really hard to get, apparently. They did a nice Pride jersey. They also did a really cool 80s jersey. So more of that, not just from the farm teams. Like the NHL teams don't always seem to do. I don't know if anyone's actually done that.
A Pride jersey?
Yeah.
I don't, maybe warm-ups, but not during a game.
Almost, but not worn in a game. Yeah. So that would definitely that would stand out. That would do something.
Yeah.
Even everyone jumped on board with those adopt a puppy things, which is awesome. But
you want everyone to adopt a gay? Is that what you're saying?
I know that was going to start sounding up bad, but even if they did some sort of involvement in one of those programs, I mean, like a Big Brother Sister type deal,
right? Or a Trevor Project or something.
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus really. No,
donations to organizations.
That'd be great. So more hands-on and more active in the community.
Yeah, and even it would be pretty cool if a player or a coach either gets fined for being outspoken, if they donate that fine to one of the organizations or something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because I don't even know where that money goes, but
I think it goes to the NHL Foundation, which mostly deals with cancer. But yeah, but I think, I'm not 100% sure. Awesome. Well, John, I really appreciate you joining us, and thank you. And thank you for, building and working to make hockey inclusive and safe in New Zealand, and celebrating and bringing a sport there and growing it. It's really cool.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for having me. I didn't even realize I'd be speaking directly to you. Thank you for everything you've been doing.
No, my pleasure. Happy to.
I love reading your stories. Keep them coming.